Hello and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. This is for December 23rd, 2024, episode 361. I am down to the final 5 episodes of my 365-day daily podcast goal that I started almost a year ago, a little over a year ago. This is stand-up comedian, actor, improviser, and dreamer Paul Green, sharing my journey as I pursue my dreams in the hopes that you will pursue yours. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope all of you out there in the internet lands are having a happy, fulfilling, joyful holiday season. Isn't it beautiful this time of year, where we reflect and we try to think of others and giving gifts and being good to each other. Good cheer, good tidings of great joy. So, let's start with a little bit of a kind of interesting little experience I just had. So, for about the past 10 or 15 years, I've had this sort of persistent problem with my lower left back, kind of near sort of the hip area. And every 4 or 5 months, something would really kind of get out of whack back there, and I'd have to go to a chiropractor. And usually what would happen is I would go to a chiropractor, they would, loosen me up, throw some electrodes on my back, and sort of do that hip rotation, twist, pop thing. And I would feel pretty good. I had a good chiropractor, and, that's pretty much all it would take. Well, over the years, that problem has gotten worse and worse and more persistent and more often, to where now it's pretty much the left side of that hip almost always hurts. And it never actually really feels released or feels good. And I would go to the chiropractor. However, I got a different chiropractor, and I don't want to name the company because, I don't want to be talking bad juju about anybody out there. So anyway, I was just finding that the chiropractic care wasn't really doing anything. It wasn't like getting that release. It wasn't really isolating actually where the problem was, and it just seemed to always be there. So this morning I wake up, I do some chores around the old house, and my back starts tightening up again. That hip area is just really hurting, and I just went, I want to go to the chiropractor and just have them adjust this, but this chiropractor that I have been going to, it just doesn't seem like they're any good. And I say they because it's actually like it's like kind of a corporate brand. It's not like an independent chiropractor or whatever. And so I just went, I think I just need to find another chiropractor and just see if I have better results, right? But it was Christmas Eve. So even though this episode is for the 23rd, obviously I'm releasing this a little late. So it's already Christmas Eve, and I'm going am I going to be able to find a chiropractor who's open on Christmas Eve, who has available appointment slots for a new patient again on Christmas Eve? So I hit the Googles, and the first place I call, oh no, we're all full. We can't see you till Monday. And I'm like, I'm hurting now. I don't want to hurt until Monday. And then called a couple other places, no answer, got some voicemails. So then I get to the fourth place on Google, give him a call. I go, hey, I know it's Christmas Eve. Is there any chance you could fit me in for a new patient treatment? I'm having some back issues. And she goes, let me ask the doctor, right? So she comes back and she's like, if you can come in right now, we can see you. And I'm like, good. That's exactly what I wanted to come in, was right now. So I go into the, chiropractor, and like right off the bat, I can already tell that this place is just a little bit more legit. They take it a little bit more serious. It feels more like going to the doctor, whereas the old chiropractor felt more like going to McDonald's. I hate being critical, but this other place, it was really like, they are just like, get you in and get you out as fast as you can. I mean, I would just go in there. They would, they wouldn't even really do like any sort of medical histories, be like, yeah, what's going on? But no matter what I told them, they would do the exact same maneuvers. They wouldn't loosen me up at all. They wouldn't really, I didn't feel like I was getting a treatment. I felt like I was just getting cranked, right? So this place, I go in, I do a full medical history with one of their assistants. She like takes my vitals. She does like reflex tests. She like measures my mobility. She's like just doing a lot of like precursory work. And then I had mentioned that I had gotten an MRI and that, I had access to this MRI. And as soon as I said that, they were all excited, like, oh, we definitely want to see that. Oh, let's make sure we get your MRI and all that stuff. So I do all of that with the assistant. Then the doctor comes in. First thing he does, he's like, oh, let me look at those MRIs. I pull up the MRI on my phone. He's like looking at them, really observing them. And then I showed him the sort of medical breakdown of the MRI that I got. So then he's like, cool, well, let's get you some treatment, right? So we go to his massage or his chiropractor table, right? And he starts doing like these procedures that I've never experienced a chiropractor doing before. He was like doing these interesting sort of like pressure point. Massage is too strong of a word. Like he would press into like a certain nerve, like in my leg, and then would like just do like these really minor manipulations of like different ligaments and like all through my legs. I started trying to think if I started belly up or belly down. I feel like I started belly down. And then he's like stretching my legs and, and doing these stretches and back stretches while doing these like different manipulations of, like the stomach and the legs and the hamstrings and my quads and, my glutes. And then he was like doing things with my jaw and my forehead. And while he was doing this, I started to feel like all of these like releases in my nerves. It was really fascinating. And, when I got up, he just said, well, how do you feel? I'm like, well, I feel a little looser, but I still got that tightness in my hip. And he just goes, well, here's the thing. You've had that problem for many years, because I told him, it's like, yeah, this has been a problem I've experienced for years and it's just getting worse. And I was kind of saying like, hey, you didn't do that pop thing. You didn't do the thing where I lay on my side and, you pop my hip. And he goes, well, you've been doing that at the other chiropractor for years and it's not working, right? And I was like, well, yeah, but I was just hoping that when you did it, you would do it better, And he just said, so we're going to approach this totally different. We need to stop doing what isn't working. And he goes, what I'm doing is I'm getting all of your ligaments in your nervous system and your tissue and your organs, I'm getting all of them to start firing properly again. Because it was so weird. Like, he would push like on a nerve, like on my pelvis, right? And it was like so sore and tight. And he would just kind of work that and like kind of like release the nerves or whatever. It was so weird. But I mean, not weird. I mean, just weird as in it was different than any other chiropractic experience I've had. And, and then at the end I'm going, oh, wait, you didn't pop my back. You didn't pop my hip. You didn't pop my neck. And again, that was him just saying, well, yeah, because that's what you have been doing and it hasn't been working. So we're going to try a different approach, and we're going to try to be a lot more, instead of aggressive and just, cracking your bones, we're going to do these more subtle manipulations to get your nervous system firing, to get your circulatory system all firing properly, to get your ligaments in alignment and everything like that. So your body will start to heal itself. And, it was a little interesting life lesson. Just a lesson in how easy it is to get stuck in a rut or in a pattern or a certain way of doing things that isn't actually working. Yet, for some reason, we keep doing it. Just out of pattern, out of familiarity. It's pretty shocking that we could be so familiar with things that are ineffective that it doesn't even occur to us that there's maybe a different or a better way to do it. Even if what we're doing is clearly not providing the results that we want. So that has just given me some food for thought as I start to look for the future here and my hopes and dreams as a comedian and as a performer, which is to think to myself, how many things am I doing in regards to pursuing my dreams? How many things am I doing that aren't actually working, that aren't actually getting the results that I'm seeking? And what can I do differently? How can I tweak things? How can I change things? How could I try a different modality altogether and see if a different approach gets better and different results? So that was my thought as I completed my chiropractic care today with a brand new chiropractor. He seemed very smart, very, he was just very intent and intentional in what he was doing. And I actually felt like it was important to him to get it right and to provide treatment, and that it wasn't him just trying to get me in and out of the door as fast as possible so we can get on to the next patient. So, there you go, everybody. What are we doing in our lives habitually based off of maybe false presuppositions or that we're just doing out of habit or doing it because it's what we've always done, and maybe it's time to take a look at that and just say, is this actually getting me where I want to go? Is this actually working? And if it's not working, maybe it's time to try a different approach. All right, everybody. That's all for today. I hope you are all having a wonderful Christmas holiday. I will try to get another podcast out for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, because I've only got 5 episodes left, 4 more after this. So I'll do Christmas Eve, Christmas, and then that Thursday, and then Friday will be my 365th episode, which will complete this initial goal of doing a daily episode for a year. And then, like my chiropractic care, I am going to go back to the drawing board and see if maybe there's something, a different way I can approach this that will maybe yield better results or different results. And we'll see. We'll see what comes down the line. I ain't making no decisions today, everybody, but I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for listening to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. This is episode 361 for December 23rd, 2024. I love you all so much. Merry Christmas. I'll talk to you tomorrow.